Hi, and welcome to this short screencast to describe how to submit the WASC 2010 Annual Report. I'm just going to go over a few hints and tips and tricks that'll make the report process easier for you. So by now you've seen the email that outlines the instructions, and you've also downloaded the Annual Report User's Guide and reviewed those directions. I just want to focus on a few things that'll make submitting the report easier. So first, let's go ahead and log in to the annual report portal, given the link that you were sent in your email. I'm using a test account, and view the report itself. So as the instructions said, you should open all the sections to reveal the questions, noticing that some of your information is already populated, and print the report. You can also choose at the very bottom of the page a printer-friendly version. Prints out a little nicer. Again, you'll have to open up each section, but at the end of the day, this might be easier to share with your colleagues anyway. Go ahead and print that to your favorite printer or to print it to PDF, and then you'll be able to share that with your colleagues. Okay, next I want to talk about downloading the file attachments and organizing those. So you need to download all these file attachments. You'll later input the data into these templates and then re-upload them as you're submitting your annual report. The quickest way to do this is just click on each one, select Save File, and then I would go ahead and create a new folder. Call it Annual Reports, if I could spell here. And then that way your files will be saved somewhere where you can get to them easier. Go ahead and download all the files right now. I'll just show you how quick that goes. Now you'll notice on question 7 or attachment 7C there's two different ones. One's for private institutions, one's for public institutions. Just go ahead and download those both, because you won't know which one you're supposed to use until you answer question B1, depending on your type of institution, proprietary, independent, private, etc. And then we list here which form you should use in answering that question. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the files that you've downloaded. Here I've opened the annual reports folder where I saved all my spreadsheet templates. You'll notice that each of the file names includes the name of the file, key personnel, but also an institution ID number. If you want to be really friendly, you can go ahead and insert your institution ID number here. You'll find that number pre-populated for you in question 1. So you could simply put that in these file names before you upload them. Let's also go ahead and take a look at one of the files so you understand how those work. Okay, here I've just opened up the key personnel file. It's pretty simple. You put in your institution name, the same ID that you get from question 1, and then fill in the fields requested: name of your board chair, phone number, title, email address, etc. Pretty simple. Once you're done, you'll save this, and then we'll upload it later to the website. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the specific questions asked in the annual report. So you'll notice under section A, the information that's published to our directory. This is very basic contact information about your institution: the name, the address, etc. We filled in some of the information for you and then asked that you edit that information if it's incorrect, or go ahead and fill in any missing information. It's really important to note that answers are required for almost all the questions. So even if the question is not applicable, you need to write something in the field before you can submit the form. The system won't allow you to submit an incomplete form. So looking at section B, again, notice that depending on your answer to one of these types, it dictates which financial indicators form you should use when you answer question 7C. You'll notice that throughout the document we've given you links to policies that are related to the questions that we're asking. Take a look at those policies. If you have any specific questions, you can always contact your WASC staff liaison. And again, your WASC staff liaison is mentioned right up here at the top of the form. Going on to section C, the area where you'll be uploading files as responses to these questions. The directions are pretty clear. It's important that you maintain the file formatting. Each of these Excel spreadsheets has been given to you in Office 2000 version. If you're using a newer version of Microsoft Office, say Office 2007, you'll notice that when you save files, it adds an extra X to the end of the XLS. That means it's in a different file format. If you're not familiar with this, please work with technical support staff on your campus to ensure that the documents you upload are in the format that they were provided to you. This is important because we actually import this information later into our database. Another thing that is worth mentioning is the off-campus and distance education table. As part of the email your ALO was sent asking for this annual report, the off-campus and distance education information was attached. That is a current listing of the programs that we understand are in operation for your institution. It's important that that program information be updated because this information gets posted to our website and then is reviewed regularly by Department of Ed to confirm the financial aid eligibility for students in those programs. So we've created a separate page, if you just click here, that will give you more information and specifics about how to fill out the off-campus and distance education table. Moving on down to question 7. These are financial questions. It's really important that you work with your institution's chief financial officer or equivalent. Some of the information that's requested, they will need to provide for you, including things like your audited financial statement, as well as any management letters that accompanied it, etc. Finally, when you're ready to submit the report, just check that you certify that this is accurate information and submit the report to WASC. Notice that you can't choose this button until all the fields are filled out and all the required files are selected. The system is also sensitive to the file format that's requested. So if you try to attach a PDF where we've asked for an Excel spreadsheet, it won't allow you to submit and vice versa. So you need to attach the specific file to the specific question. Okay, we've zoomed forward and I've filled out the entire annual report form and selected the files for upload, and you'll notice now that the submit report button is live. Click it once and wait, as the file upload process could take a few moments. Finally, you'll get this confirmation screen that lets you know that the form was submitted fine and the files were uploaded. We ask that if you have the time, please take a moment to click this survey so that you can let us know about your experience and ways in which we might improve this process. Thanks very much for watching. Again, if you have any questions regarding the form itself, please contact your WASC staff liaison. If you have technical questions, please contact WASC at annualreports@wascsenior.org.